2024 has given us some great films. It's given us some bad films, but it's also given us some great films. And we're about to talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Hello there, Clapperheads, and welcome to a brand new edition of ClapperTalks.
I was about to say, welcome to the final episode of this year.
Welcome to the final episode of this year, not of ClapperTalks, but of this year of ClapperTalks. I'm Nick Dorian.
And I'm Kelvin Tay.
And yes, this year has honestly given us some real gems of films.
There are some winners, there are some losers.
Megalopolis. But apart from that, we're going to get into some of the films that, if you haven't seen this year, you really should. Because these, to me at least, are my top films of this year, hands down.
And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do part 1 and part 2 real quickly.
Okay.
Part 1 is going to be the top 3 films on our list.
Okay.
I believe there will be some clashes.
Okay.
And part 2 will be our honorable mentions.
Yes.
There are a lot of films that came out this year. You know, I was going through the list. So many films, and we can only pick 3 best and 3 honorable mentions.
Okay. That's good with me.
And that is how we're going to do it. Okay,
Since
guys?
I went first with the Christmas one, you want to do the first one?
All right. The first movie
Yes.
that I really enjoyed this year, hands down, it has to be Dune 2.
Okay.
All right. I mean, it's Dune, right? It is the pinnacle of cinematography for me. It was really well done. Artwork, the graphics, the CGI, the actors, the story. It's Dune, right? I went in Dune 2, like I was just going through the list and I was just trying to remember my experience with Dune 2. And at first I thought nothing can top Dune, like the
first film.
the first one, not like the classic Dune, but like the first one in this one. Dune 2 was amazing. It was beautiful, and it's one of those films where you just go in, you shut the hell up, and you just enjoy a cinematic experience.
Yep.
Right, that's how I'm gonna say it. If people will come and tell you, it's like, hey, Dune not nice, like, hey, Dune boring, like, Dune too draggy, like. It's like, dude, this is art, man. This is not a movie. This is art, man. Every frame is a wallpaper. That's how I'm gonna put it.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Now, my film is an animated film.
Can I guess?
Yes.
Is it about a duck?
Maybe.
Right. Is it about a robot?
Maybe.
Right. Is it about the people who did Shrek?
Yes.
Okay.
It is a Wild Robot.
Yeah. That's my second one.
Because hands down, like, sure, there were great films this year, but this to me is one of the greatest films this year. It's perfect. Like, there's nothing wrong with this film. It's a story of parenthood from growing up to university, all told within like a less than 2-hour film.
Yeah.
It tugs on your heartstrings. It's wonderful to look at. There's some adult humor in it as well for the adults. It's not completely for kids. So there's a nice balance for the entire family to go and watch it, and it will leave you in tears. I'm so glad they're making a sequel. Second one is coming. So if you haven't, please, if there's any movie to watch this year, it is The Wild Robot.
Yeah, I just want to add on, the cast for The Wild Robot makes me love Lupita Nyong'o so much more, right? Besides her, there's also Matt Berry, Ving Rhames, Mark Hamill, Bill Nighy, Pedro Pascal. You know, amazing stellar cast that you don't see.
Yes.
But the way that they do their voice acting...
And this is
beautiful.
a perfect animated film that didn't come from Disney. DreamWorks created this, and they're on a roll at the moment. So I hope they make films more like this in the future. They're going to have a winning streak against Disney with this.
Don't let Wild Robot... don't go into Wild Robot thinking, hey, this is just going to be another cartoon.
It's so much more than that.
Much more.
It's so much more than that.
Yeah, it's a lovely film. I mean, since we both have The Wild Robot, do you want to take another one?
Sure. My other one is a local film that was also collaborated with Singapore, La Luna.
La Luna?
Yes. I initially wanted to put Abang Adik, but Abang Adik came in 2023, which if you haven't seen it for Malaysian film, I beg you, go and watch Abang Adik. It's on Netflix right now. La Luna is also on Netflix. It's essentially about this bold newcomer who comes to a conservative village to open up a lingerie store.
Okay.
Which gains both ardent support and, of course, opposition from the very conservative, what's the opposite of conservative again?
Liberal?
Oh no, they are a conservative village. Sorry, they're very conservative, so of course they're against it, and things happen. But it's one of the better Malaysian films that I've seen. Sharifah Amani's in it, Shahizi Sam's in it, It's a wonderful script. It's lighthearted. It has some very deep topics about conservatism and the clash between old and new, and also about religious differences as well. It's a great film, hands down, that I feel every Malaysian and Singaporean should see. This is Singapore's entry for the Oscars next year,
Oh, shit, okay.
whereas ours is Abang Adik. I feel Abang Adik is way ahead of that, of La Luna, but La Luna is still a great watch for a date night or something. Yeah.
Since we both have the Wild Robot, I have to add one more.
Mm.
I'm just gonna throw it in there, into the ringer, into the hat. I know it's a movie that came out last year, but I just want to throw it out there. Abang Adik.
Yes.
Right? One thing I feel about Malaysian is that we jarang support our own product. Right? Maybe creative, maybe, you know, something tangible.
Well,
Abang
because most
Adik-
of our products are,
you know, I mean, like let's just put all politics and
Yeah.
everything aside.
Yeah.
Abang Adik is one of those films that make me very bangga nak jadi orang Malaysia.
yeah,
Right?
betul.
It's one of those hidden gems where people are like, oh, you know, this is just another Malaysian film. You know, what is this about? But when you go into it, it's very heartwarming, mainly because that Pudu area that most of the film was shot in
Yeah.
was where I kind of grew up at.
Okay.
Right, my family used to have an office at Maluri, and my dad used to bring me to the same street to buy fishes for his pond and everything. So it was very, very touching as like a budak KL.
Yeah.
Abang Adik, again, if you are Malaysian, watch it, man.
And even if you're not wondering what Malaysian films will be like, please go and watch that. Films, if you're outside of Malaysia looking for Malaysian films to watch, I would highly recommend, of course, Abang Adik, La Luna, Imaginor, Gang Kubor. Those films are freaking perfect as a Malaysian film that deserves more credit than they're getting.
I think we should do an episode about, like, you know, Malaysian movie recommendation special.
Honestly,
Right?
I'll be down for that.
Yeah.
Because,
but the catch is,
yeah,
we get the Malaysian directors to recommend their own films.
hey, we can make that happen.
Right?
So yes, what's your next film?
Besides Abang Adik, the last one I have on my top 3 is what we talked about last week, Alien Romulus. The reason why I picked this mainly is because I have been a huge fan of Aliens, Prometheus, and the one that I can never remember. What's after Prometheus?
Covenant.
Right? I love the lore. I love a bit of action, right? Alien Romulus, like we talked about last week. If you haven't catched the episode, you know, just
Yeah, which
it
actually came
should
out
be-
3 weeks ago, not
Right.
last week. It's just recording. We recorded it last week.
right.
Timey-wimey, wibbly wobbly.
It really ties the film together, and Alien Romulus, like we mentioned, brought back the original feel and flavor of Alien. And we also talked about the main actress or the main actor. I can't
The one that
remember.
played Rain?
Yeah.
yeah.
The one that really makes you feel like the female protagonist. What's her name again? Ripley, right? Alien Romulus, top 3.
100%
Yeah,
agree.
it's one of the good stuff.
My last top 3 film, a little bit biased because I love the director and might not be everybody's perfect film, but to me, next to Dogma, this is one of his best films, hands down, which is the 4:30 movie by Kevin Smith.
Okay.
Now, this is a true love letter to filmmaking, film lovers, and cinephiles all over. Like, me who loves cinema the way that I do, I related to this film in a big bad way. And knowing Kevin Smith, this is sort of an autobiographical story, which most of his films are, but this had so much heart in it. And I could see myself as the protagonist in this film. And it's just a great film for people who love films. Like, it might not be everyone's cup of tea because it is very Kevin Smith. It's filled with pop culture references and stuff like that. So not everyone can enjoy it. But if you give it a chance, you will really enjoy this film for what it is. And also, if you're a Kevin Smith fan and if you listen to the Smodcast, you will get this film hands down because there's a lot of the emo Kev tapes, if you remember that episode, brought into this film.
Okay.
Yeah. So, when we come back after this break, we're going to get into our honorable mentions.
3, 2, 1. If you, like me, love all things indie, my top 3 honorable mention are to die for
Okay.
because these are 3 shows. There's a lot more actually. There's a lot more.
I know.
But if you were just to boil it down to like the top 3 I've watched this year, this is my list, right?
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
No, you go first.
All right. The first one that I want to recommend, it's a film that kind of went under everyone's radar. I watched it mainly because I saw the thumbnail. It was a bit... It really, really stood out. And I was like, okay, let's just give this a try. And the movie is called Thelma. See?
Oh, I know
Thelma.
this. Thelma. Yes.
Thelma is a comedy action movie that revolves around this old grandmother called Thelma. And the summary goes, Thelma Post is a 93-year-old grandmother who lost $10,000 to a con artist on the phone. With help from a friend and his motorized scooter, she soon embarks on a treacherous journey across LA to reclaim what was taken from her. It is one of those movies that you were like, what the hell is this? Right? Why is there an old lady? But you can see, again, I call this an action film, featuring a 93-year-old grandmother.
Yeah.
And that's going to bring up some questions like, how is a 93-year-old grandmother going to be in an action comedy film, right? But if you watch this film and you just follow the entire story, you can see that it's crazy, it's mad, it's really something that you would not think of.
Okay.
Right. Highly, highly, highly recommend, especially during the year-end season. Must watch.
Thelma. Okay.
Thelma, yeah.
Mine is a Taiwanese film, which coincidentally gave me my most viral video on ClapperTalks. Dead Talent Society.
Okay.
Dead Talent Society honestly surprised me in so many ways. Now, this is a Taiwanese film about ghosts who are striving to become the spookiest urban legends and famous stars in the underworld. They use scare tactics and performances among the living to achieve their goals in essentially like a talent competition. But what I love about it is undeniably hilarious. Like from start to finish, it provides so much laughs that you'll be rolling on the floor laughing. It is hilarious, but also has a great heart about it, about finding who your true self is and what makes you you. If you can find it, please go and watch this Taiwanese film. Sure, if you're not into foreign language films, it might be a bit of a stretch, but I guarantee you, if you take the time and the effort to watch this, you are going to fall in love with this film and want to watch it again and again and again. I want to watch it again.
Okay.
I'm waiting for this to come on digital so I can get a copy. I love this film.
Digital.
I don't think it's on digital. Maybe in Taiwan, but
maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know whether American markets have gotten this yet. I know it premiered at the Venice Film Festival and then over in Malaysia, but it is a great damn film.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
The next film I want to talk about is a murder mystery. We talked about this on one of the previous episodes.
Okay.
It's a movie called The Last Stop in Yuma Country.
Yes.
Right? This is a murder mystery. And I remember during the episode that we covered, I related this to The Hateful Eight by Tarantino. I love myself a good murder mystery. And this one, like Tarantino's Hateful Eight, is just revolve around a diner in the middle of Yuma Country, I would assume.
Yeah.
And someone died, they have to figure out who's the killer. But in the end, there's a lot of turns and a lot of twists. And it just keeps you on the edge of your seat thinking, like, what's going to go on? What's going to go? What's going to happen? Who's the killer, right? And it's one of those films that I enjoy on a Friday night, with a couple, with a bag of chips, a couple of drinks, and it's just like, what is this?
Okay.
I highly recommend that you don't check out the trailer because this is one of the few instances where the trailer kind of give off more than it should.
Yeah.
It's a murder mystery for the love of all things holy. Just go in blind.
Okay.
Enjoy it. It's a good film.
Okay.
Right.
My next one is Saturday Night. Now, this essentially tells the story of the opening night of Saturday Night Live.
This was the one
I mentioned to you.
Yeah, okay.
The opening night of Saturday Night Live and all the chaos that ensued it. It's told in real time, so it starts from 90 minutes before the cameras start rolling, and it goes all the way until the camera starts rolling. So you get to see the behind the scenes.
It's basically a movie about the BTS of Saturday night.
Pretty much. And it's the actor that played Lorne Michaels, freaking top notch. Like, all the actors are fantastic because they all have to play their real life counterparts. People like Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, Gilda Radner, all those actors. And what I love about this is the actors could have gone for impersonations, but I feel they're doing more homages than impersonations.
Right.
Like they've got all the characteristics down. It's not exaggerated impersonations. It feels like you are watching the actual people. And honestly, it is a great tight film. It is chaotic from start to finish, and you feel like you are a part of what's happening backstage.
Right.
It wasn't wildly regarded. Like it didn't garner a lot of attention, surprisingly, for a Saturday night film. But I still would recommend it just to find out the origin story of Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
Yeah.
The last one I have on our honorable mention list, it's a fantastic film that you recommended me. It's a film called Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah.
As you all know, I'm not a fan of horror, just not a fan of horror in general,
Yeah.
right? This one, I wouldn't consider it horror, more supernatural.
Supernatural thriller.
Right, supernatural, out of the universe kind of stuff,
Yeah.
right? It's a talk show.
Yeah.
It's a talk show featuring a host, and his ratings are going down, and he's trying all his ways to kind of bring the ratings back up again, and he kind of made a deal with the devil, right? Again, I don't want to spoil much of this film because it's again one of those films that you just have to go in and experience it. There are a bit of jump scares, but on a scale of 1 to 10, the jump scares are about like a low 3 or like a low 4. Nothing Conjuring level scary.
Yeah.
But it's a good time. Late Night with the Devil features what's his name again?
David Dusty Almich.
Okay, let me try this. Okay.
Yes.
David Dasmalchian.
Dasmalchian. How did I get Dusty Almich?
Oh my god, I'm terrible with names. Yeah, he plays Jack Delroy. I don't know how to cover this film. To me, if anyone asks me, it's like, hey Kel, is there any movie you would recommend? All right, this would be on the tip of my tongue, definitely. But if they ask me to explain the film, I'm either gonna spoil it for you, or I'm gonna explain it to the point that you'll be like, what the hell is this?
I would explain it. It's a talk show that goes wrong, dealing with supernatural elements, that's filmed like a talk show.
Yeah.
That's the best way I could describe it.
The summary is short and sweet. In 1977, a live television broadcast goes horribly wrong, unleashing evil into the nation's living room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the best way. And the fact that this is now the third time we are bringing this film up on this podcast, that should tell you how much you have to watch Late Night with the Devil.
Take it from someone who just despise horror.
Yeah.
Right. I used the word despise, but I'm actually a fucking pussy when it comes to it. But yeah.
But seriously, go watch that film because it is unlike any sort of film that has come out. The closest I would say will be BBC's Ghost Watch back in the 90s, which scared the living daylights out of the British public because it was a documentary about them going into this haunted house, except everyone believed it was real. It was never filmed like a mockumentary style. It was filmed very, very authentically, even having Michael Parkinson, who was a very famous host at the time, hosting it. So everybody thought it was real. And the same thing with Late Night with the Devil. I had to double check. Was this an actual event? Because it's filmed like it was really an event. You feel like you are watching the show itself, with a few behind the scenes moments as well. But the style of it's filmed very 70s. Even the camera angles they use, the filters they use, it is very 70s. You have to watch it to understand. So go watch Late Night with the Devil. If there's anything on this list you should watch first,
Late Night with the Devil.
Late Night with the Devil.
Before we wrap up this one, I have a very last minute game that I just want to throw it at you.
Okay.
I'm gonna name a couple of names because again, we have 3 top 3s and 3 honorable mentions.
Yeah.
That is just 6 films out of the entire year.
Yeah.
There are a lot of good films we covered and watched as well.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw out the name.
Okay.
You give me a rating of 0. 0 being like, don't bother even Googling it.
Okay.
And 10 being like, you have to sit down and watch it.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to name a few names and you're just going to give me the number, okay?
Okay.
And it's also films that we covered here before.
This is a total surprise. This is not planned at all.
Right. Film number 1.
Yeah.
It's What's Inside.
It's What's Inside. I would give it maybe a 6.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fly Me to the Moon.
8 out of 10.
Blink Twice.
9 out of 10.
Wolves.
8 out of 10.
Twisters.
8 out of 10 as well.
Roadhouse.
That's my honorable mention, so I will give that a 9 out of 10.
Right. Trap.
First half, 7 out of 10. Last half, 4 out of 10.
How to make millions before grandma dies.
I'll be honest, I've been holding off from watching that film.
Have you not watched it yet?
I have not watched it because I can't bring myself to
All
watch
right,
it yet because I know...
I'm going to be the asshole and say that it's a 5 out of 10 for me. It's
Oh, really?
It's
okay.
Everyone online is like, oh, this is like...
Yeah.
I just want to preface this. I have a very close relationship with my grandma.
Yeah.
And I still miss her every day, although she passed away about 5 years ago, right?
Okay.
I thought going into this film will make me feel a lot of emotions, but it's not as tragic and sad and touching as people have make it perceive it.
Okay.
Right? It's a 5 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
Right. Next one, Joker Folie à Deux.
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
I still give it a few points for its cinematography and Hilda's music. 3 out of 10.
All right. And that's all I have here.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Megalopolis, 0 out of 10.
I saw it and I just didn't want to go through it.
But yes, my last honorable mention, as you mentioned earlier in that list, Roadhouse. Now, Roadhouse is a film that really came out of left field for me because the original is so iconic with Patrick Swayze.
Again, I didn't even know there was an original, just like Fall Guy.
I think the original was very much an 80s kid thing. Like, Patrick Swayze was known for 2 major films in the 80s. Roadhouse, Dirty Dancing. And Dirty Dancing, I'm like, okay with, but Roadhouse, it was a badass action film. Just watching him spin kick and just beat the shit out of everyone. Now, when I heard they're doing a remake, I was like,
do you really want to do that?
But Jake Gyllenhaal freaking surprised me.
Yeah.
He trained with the UFC. It's now a UFC sort of story, but it is great in its own right.
Yep.
It really deserves a watch. Don't put any prejudice behind it because of the original. Go in it with an open mind. I guarantee you will enjoy this film for what it is. Jake Gyllenhaal is the star of this thing. He has such a great emotional range on top of having all the action sequences that you really relate, you feel to the character. And then his fight with Conor McGregor at the end also was just, insane. Go and watch Roadhouse. It's on Amazon Prime.
Fantastic film.
Yeah.
Roadhouse is a solid 8, 9 out of 10
Yes.
for me.
It really surprised me.
And that's it. That is
Our
ClapperTalks for 2024, Nick.
Now, before we go, these are great films. Now, I'm just going to quickly list films that you should avoid with deathly plague from this year. 1, Megalopolis.
Hold on, before you do that.
Yes.
Hold on, before you do that. Okay, all you, man.
Okay. Number 1, Megalopolis. Number 2, Madam Web. Number 3, Joker Folie à Deux. Number 4, Jangan Pandang Belakang 2. That's really, there's a lot of bad films out there, but this year, my God, avoid these films. So yes, that is my list of films that you should desperately avoid this year because you could spend better time than watching this film. This is time you are never going to get back. So if you appreciate your time and your energy and your love for cinema, avoid these films. Seriously, just avoid them.
All right, man.
So yes, that has been our 2024 year. 2025 is looking to be something exciting. Hopefully a lot of more good films are going to come out next year. We've got Lilo and Stitch coming, the live action version.
I don't want to watch the trailer yet.
I desperately want to watch it because I don't care if it's a straight shot-by-shot
Lilo and
remake.
Stitch, Dragon How to Fly.
Dragon How to Fly. How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes.
Although I like that title a lot better. This is DreamWorks Dragon Learn How to Fly. Oi, Hiccup, come here. I want to learn how to fly.
I saw screenshots of that. Looks amazing. I haven't done much research on like what else is coming out next year.
Wicked Part 2, because Wicked Part 1 was fantastic. I'm excited for Part 2.
Okay, is that the one with
Ariana Grande?
Yeah,
Yes, Ariana Grande is in
In
theater
my
as
head, I
well.
was just thinking Ariana Venti the whole time. But
No, Ariana Grande. That size of drink.
Okay, yeah.
That as well. There's that Marlon Brando flick, a day with Marlon or
Yes,
a night
it's
with
like
Marlon or
it's like a
something like that.
biopic.
Yes, that one might fly under the radar,
Okay.
but go and find that Marlon Brando biopic with Billy Zane. That is looking fantastic. I think there is a Star Wars film coming. I guess.
Yeah. At this point, I'm just burnt out with like Star Wars. Like I'm just burnt out. They have not produced anything, to shout home for.
Yeah.
It's anyhow anywhere.
And not forgetting, Fantastic Four should be coming out next year. I'm holding hope.
And I
That'll be
believe
good.
the whole Marvel train is gonna start chugging again next year, right?
Yeah,
There are
next
a
year
couple
we've
of
got
films.
Thunderbolts, Captain America, New World Order, and Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
That is just the film stuff. TV side, we've got Daredevil, we've got What If Season 3,
Damn, man.
Wonder Man, and the
And
Spider-Man.
also, let's not forget Amazon's. You know how Netflix did that anthology of like random
Secret Level.
level.
But that's coming out in a few weeks. Well, at time
Wait,
of
is it- is it
at
end
time
of
of
the year?
recording is a few weeks time. But I think it might be out when this episode comes out. I think December 12th, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so it's this year, lah.
This year.
Okay.
And Squid Game Season 2 as well for Netflix.
Yeah, December 26th.
26th. That's coming out this year. But yes, let's see what
Yes.
2025 has for us.
All right, man.
No more Joker stuff, please. Just end
Yeah.
it. Francis, don't make any more films. Thanks.
Until then.
If you want to follow us on our social media, you can check out Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube. We're on all those social media.
And if you want to learn more about the Malaysian podcasting scene, go to www.renegadeplus.com.
Thank you so much for this year. Thank you for watching us this year. We'll see you again next year. As always, I'm Nick Dorian.
And I'm Kelvin Tay.
Keep watching the movies.
Goodbye, people.